And the panoramic scene of this wonderful edifice in Japan with a huge crowd on hand for K1 Millennium greets you as we're back on the Fight Network. And the opening bout of this six-pack of fights will feature that man slamming Sammy Greco of Australia, making his way to the ring. The man who was involved in the 1999 K1 World Grand Prix quarterfinals, where he defeated Ray Sefo via decision before being stopped by Mirko Filipovic. But Greco, Sean, we have referred to him as the Renaissance Man because really there's not much this guy can't do.
No, he sings, he dances, he speaks many languages. I mean, this guy's amazing. And probably in K1, the hardest hitting fighter there is.
Yeah, fluently speaks English, Japanese, Greek, and Italian. We've talked about his other performance skills. He's a comedian, he's a magician, loves doing stunts, and as you mentioned, above all else, a pretty good martial artist as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said before, this guy can hit harder than most any fighter I've ever seen before.
You know, you've heard of a jack of all trades. This guy's a jock of all trades. He's involved in pistol shooting. He's wrestled, boxed. He's a swimmer. He loves golfing. He's a track and field guy. Tennis, football, soccer. I mean, he does it all. He's Sammy Greco. While Greco may do it all, Sean, he's no Mr. Perfect.
No way. This guy is perfect at everything he does.
He's Ernesto Hoost, and he is the defending K1 World Grand Prix champion, having gone through a proverbial murderer's row in Nagoya, Japan in December when he took care of Andy Hoog, Jerome LeBanner, before stopping Mirko Krokop in the championship final to win his second K1 World GP. He was also champion in 1997, finished in third place in 1996. And really a guy who was, a legend, not only in the sport of K1, but definitely in his home country of Holland, training at the legendary Voss Gym, where many martial arts luminaries applied their craft.
I really like the way he looks coming to the ring. He's got a full head of sweat there, lots of beads coming off him. That means that his trainers have got him well prepared for this fight. And when you have a fighter that's in that good a shape, it's very, very important to get them warmed up well. Generally, a thing that I tell my fighters, if you look across the ring and the fighter's not sweating yet, that's when you want to put pressure on him right away. Don't give him a chance to warm up. Get on him quick. But it looks like Ernesto's got his warm-up in well.
He possesses sublime techniques, tactical insight. Hey, he's Mr. Perfect.
Absolutely. He's done things that most won't even dream to do. Winning that twice, winning the Grand Prix, amazing.
It is a night of super fights here at K1 Millennium. All battles will be contested over 5 3-minute rounds, and there you see slamming Sam Greco, who's 32'6'2", 235 pounds, a record of 12-7, 1-1 in K1, a native of Australia, Team Greco. And there you see Ernesto, Mr. Perfect Hoost, 34, 6'5", 230 pounds, a superlative record of 33 victories, only 8 defeats. Again, the native of the Netherlands, Muay Thai background, training at Voss Gym. How do you see this contest heading in? Two of the very best K1 has to offer.
Well, I know Greco, he has that power in those punches, so Ernesto's going to have to be careful, but I like the way Ernesto fights when he comes into these shows. He's very, very laid back. He sits back, and he's a great counter-puncher. I see this fight going to Hoost, probably going the distance, though.
You know, when you read over these athletes' biographies and many of the competitors in K1, you notice that a lot of them have a soccer background. Of course, soccer being the most popular sport in the world, very popular in Europe and Australia. But is there a natural synergy or progression to the sport of K1?
Well, I mean, soccer probably does two good things for these athletes. One, you get in great shape. You're running and sprinting the whole time. And obviously, secondly, you're creating a great range of motion to kick people.
They touch gloves, and this super fight is underway. 5 3-minute rounds, again in K1. Each match Well, can end via knockout, technical knockout, decision, disqualification, a draw or no contest. The referee, the doctor, can stop the fight. The fight is scored by 3 judges on a 10-point must system, which means, of course, that the winner of each round will receive 10 points. The loser receives 9 or less. If the round is even, both competitors will receive 10 points. Now, what happens if there is a draw, Sean?
Well, what happens in K1, which makes it so exciting, is if there's a draw, they'll go into an extra round, a sudden death round. Keeping it exciting for all of us, there has to be a winner.
Now, after the extra round or rounds, though, if there is still a draw, the judges will decide a winner based on the flow of the entire match, considering even the slightest difference. A fight can only end in a draw if both fighters go down at the same time and cannot get up, or in the case of accidental injury in the late stages of the contest. And, of course, here in K1, the 3 knockdown rule is in effect. 3 knockdowns in a round will result in a technical knockout.
See, they're kind of exchanging back and forth, 1 for 1. I'd like to see them start putting those combinations together, especially Greco. He's got to get his distance in this fight.
I think I'll chalk that up to the mutual admiration and respect that both of these athletes have for each other.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Ernesto's been told about the power of Sam Greco, and Greco knows how dangerous Ernesto is at any time.
Hoost goes downstairs with a low inside leg kick. Greco, it looks like a mental chess match is being played already. And again, we talk about the respect and stuff, but there's Hoost unloading a body kick.
Yeah, Hoost has such good reach. You see how he sticks that jab in Greco's face.
Stick and move.
Yeah, and he's always right back out on the outside, making Greco overcommit and miss.
And in the early stages, you bring up a good point, Sean. It doesn't look like Greco's doing a lot of movement in the round. Not moving the head that much, not a lot of movement. And there he is, a target for that uppercut.
Unbelievable. The way he puts those combinations together. Ernesto has great body dynamics, going from the right side to the left side, then he'll go right back with that kick from the right.
And Greco comes back with a good combination of his own, finishes it off with a kick to the body.
Greco has so much power on that left hook and that overhand right. I mean, he's dangerous at any time.
Again, both of these athletes, especially Hoost, with a background in Muay Thai. And we're used to seeing, when coming down to the sides of 8 limbs, nice overhand right and kick combination by Greco back into the close quarters. I was just going to say, Sean, that Muay Thai, the opening round, usually a feeling-out process, but now they're starting to pick up the pace.
Yeah, these guys are really getting on this fight as quick as they can.
And that may be because this is K1 and not Muay Thai, but there's a similar strategy employed. Nice tie clinch and knee strike by Sam Greco. So a good opening round here at K1 Millennium in Japan. Welcome back to the Fight Network's coverage of K1 Millennium. Sean, I thought that Ernesto Hoost kind of set the pace in the opening round, but Sam Greco did come back in the latter stages of that first round. How do you score the opening 3 minutes?
Well, I'm going to give it to Hoost. He just, you just see right there, Greco throws 1 punch, he throws 2, and then finishes with a leg kick. He always seems to be just 1 step ahead.
And there you see the beauty that is Ernesto Hoost, the fluidity in which he delivers his strikes. What a combination. Overhand right, follows it up with an uppercut, finishes it off with a cut kick, and round 2 is now underway.
Yeah, he's always keeping Greco at the end of his punches, and obviously if he's at the end of the punch, that kick is always there to be placed. Such a good reach.
And he really is trying to gauge that distance early here in the middle stanza, or the second stanza, I should say. This is not a tournament fight. This is 5 3-minute rounds. Of course, the last time you and I were together was the K1 World Grand Prix of 1999, where all those fights were 3-3-minute rounds. Oh, a spinning heel kick misses. Greco comes back with a kick of his own, and while that may not have scored for Hoost, Sean, it does curry favor with the fans, and I'm sure it might impress a judge or two.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just amazing that a man that big can lift his leg that high and place a heel across, at the height of Greco's head. It's amazing. Greco's got to move a little bit more here. He can't be just sitting in front of Ernesto. It's going to make him overcommit.
Hoost doing a good job of making him miss as well, as you saw him duck that overhand right. Now a middle kick delivered by Greco, but the counterattack of Ernesto Hoost is something that is going to go down
just like
in the annals of history. It's amazing.
Yeah, rat-a-tat-tat. You see his head just moving with those punches. Greco's got to start picking up the pace a little bit here.
You can hear the snap of that Greco kick, and many people at home would probably be wincing, like, wow, that's got to hurt. But that's not necessarily the case, is it, Sean? You know, as a fighter, you don't really want to hear that snap, do you?
No, that usually what that is that's the toes slapping the leg. It's more of a thud that you're looking for, where you feel that shin separating the muscles on the leg.
Greco picking it up there with a combination, finishes it off with a kick, but it's still Ernesto Hoost doing a good job of cutting off the ring, and you can see that Sam Greco not able to really permeate the distance here, permeate the space that he needs to find to really do damage to Ernesto Hoost, and that's credit to Hoost again. An inside leg kick by Greco catches the attention of Mr. Perfect.
Yeah,
and he's really got to do a better job of that. He's starting to do that better.
Absolutely. I mean, he's throwing combinations, but Hoost is punching in between his punches and always finishing the combination.
And Hoost really setting everything up with that jab.
Yeah, and you notice how it comes directly straight back, the same line it goes out in. When Greco throws one, you watch him drop his hand,
which of course leaves him open for
either the overhand right or a high kick.
Yeah, that
very dangerous.
Tremendous counterattack that we've sung the praises of for Mr. Perfect Ernesto Hoost. But it looked like Sam Greco was having some success in taking away that lead leg. But again, he's gone back to trying to be wild with these strikes here. A little dirty boxing and a tie clinch. And a round 2 of the scheduled 5-rounder is in the books. You see Mr. Perfect Ernesto Hoost there is slamming Sammy Greco.
You know, they look both very fresh. Nobody's breathing heavy. I really like how the corners are, keeping them calm. Just sending them the instructions, getting the Vaseline on the face. Very important. Now you just watch how Ernesto's going to counter off of all those kicks and punches. I just basically landed 3 punches to Greco's 1 kick.
And to be fair to Greco, that was a very impressive kick to the body. But like you say, Hoost not even showing that it affected him as he came back with that rat-a-tat-tat combination.
It looks like he's hitting a tree. Hoost doesn't budge. And Greco, like I said before, is probably one of the hardest hitting fighters in the K1.
So we are set for round number 3. Ernesto Hoost, Sam Greco.
Greco's really got to start picking up that pace. A 5-round fight. This has got to be where he starts making a transition.
Definitely needs to find a way to, again, invade Ernesto Hoost's airspace, if you will. Hoost doing a good job on the counterattack. Greco now trying to go to the body with those kicks, but Hoost immediately, nice spinning heel kick there. Beautiful job by Greco, but again, Ernesto Hoost stays in the pocket, doesn't flinch.
Doesn't get excited. He sticks with his combinations, keeps his distance.
And there we see a display again, and we've talked about this before, Sean, where Sam Greco, a tremendous puncher fighter, but a little wild, a little looping shots, where Hoost is more crisp in his combination, more methodical, more precise.
Yeah, I think that's a distance thing, and a lot of times a fighter that doesn't hit pads enough, that's what happens. They go for those wild shots because they spend most of their time sparring.
You think part of that is frustration at this stage?
Yeah, frustration, but it's something we've seen in Greco before. He obviously he needs to hit pads a little bit more, learn his distance, and straighten his punches a little bit more, especially with a guy like Hoost. Hoost will capitalize on every mistake, so you can't go in there with mistakes.
And to be fair to Sam Greco, he is in the ring with the defending K1 World Grand Prix champion, a 2-time champion in Ernesto Hoost, but Greco has had success as well, finishing in 3rd place in the 1998 K1 World Grand Prix, a tournament in which he defeated Ernesto Hoost. So Hoost looking for some redemption here in this one, and so far so good.
Absolutely. Greco, after this round, he's starting to tear that front leg apart. There he goes with a nice catch and a knockdown. There he goes again for that inside leg. I mean, if he could stay on the inside leg of Ernesto, that might change the pace of this fight a little bit.
Fans into the action here at K1 Millennium, Japan, as Greco tries to continue to take away the base of Ernesto Hoost. Hoost having none of it, going to the body, and there's a counter kick by Sam Greco. So the action picking up here in round number 3.
Yeah, he's really blasting the inside of Ernesto's leg. Hoost, just his boxing is amazing for a kickboxer.
Again, K1 incorporating all the best stand-up techniques in combat sports, whether it's Western boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate. You roll it all up into one, and you've got K1, and you've got Mr. Perfect, Ernesto Hoost, and Sam Greco here. The opening bout of K1 Millennium, a night of super fights, and Greco still having problem with that distance there, Sean.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, and there you see his leg was taken out from under him, and it looks like he may have hurt his left leg.
Yeah, looks like they knocked shins. He's a warrior, though. Look at him. He still keeps coming back.
And another great round between Hoost and Greco.
Hoost calm as always. Nice and relaxed in that corner.
It looked like Sam Greco was hurt, though, in the dying stages of that third round, when we will see it here, hopefully, in the replay. There you see it right there. He
hit that outside leg. He's going right above the knee perfectly.
And I don't know if that was the sequence that ended up in what... There it is right there. He pushes his shin out, and you can see already limping a little bit. So heading into round 4, Ernesto Hoost will have a wounded animal to contend with in Sam Greco. And you know what they say, Sean, when you don't want to rattle the cage of a wounded animal. But it'll be interesting to see if Sam... Well, wait a minute. Sam Greco now has crossed the ring, and is he capitulated? Has he quit?
It looks like he's saying sorry. He's giving up.
He's forced to surrender, and again we noted that in the end of the third round it looked like Greco was having difficulties with that left leg, and this fight is over. It will be a TKO victory. Corner stoppage for Ernesto, Mr. Perfect Hoost, and as an athlete, I'm sure this is not how he wants to win a fight, but a win is a win.
Absolutely.
Is a win.
And he got his redemption.
And he did do just that, as he's now 1-1 against Slam and Sammy Greco. A disappointing night for Greco as he makes the long walk back to his dressing room, but a victorious evening for the defending K1 World Grand Prix champion. There he is, hoisting the trophy in the air. Ernesto Hoost is a winner here at K1 Millennium.
You know, all it takes in this game is just that one kick. You know, they just mixed it up for 3 full rounds, and then it took just that one little knock of the shin at the end of that last round to finish this fight.
Was it a knock of the shin, and here we're going to see it again, or did he actually kick out that leg, almost going for the patella tendon, it seems? Watch it right here.
Can I get the microphone?
Hopefully we'll get to see the point of contact here, as we see that outside, the cut kick really
that was what
hurt
set
him
it
as
up,
well.
I
That
think.
set it up, exactly. Now let's see here. Now there's well, maybe not available on the replay, but it looked like it was almost like his leg got hyperextended.
Right.
And Hoost, nevertheless, doing the necessary damage to Sam Greco. And it looks like Ernesto Hoost wants to address the crowd.
This fight, after winning the K1 Grand Prix, should have been better. I was not really warmed up yet. For the next time, I promise you, a much better fight.
Well, I thought the fight was pretty good myself, Sean, but Ernesto Hoost, always the perfectionist here at K1 Millennium.